Guys, I hate hitting you with FOMO, but I'm telling you right now, if you do not get in on farming these weapons, you are going to be feeling it. I know we have the new dungeon. I know we have trials. We've got fishing. And believe me, you can completely ignore this video. However, I would be doing an injustice if I did not share with you both the challenge and cheese method for farming the Last Wish raid, or most notably, the first encounter for Last Wish. We're also going to talk about the quests that you need to pick up from Hawthorne, as there's currently a bug right now in which 2 red borders will drop for you upon completing the entire raid for Last Wish. And to top everything off, we need to talk about the weapons themselves and their weapon rolls. Because guys, even though this is old loot, these 8 raid weapons are so nasty. With that being said though, let's start by opening up with the challenge mode for Callie and how to complete this extremely quickly, and we actually clocked it at roughly 3 to 3.5 minutes. Now Callie is the first boss for the Last Wish raid, and she can drop every weapon as well as all armor pieces. Now the reason why doing challenge is so nice, and the primary reason why anyone would want to do it, is because you get double drops, meaning you have a chance of getting double red borders. Now it's very, very simple to do this challenge. You simply need to activate all the plates in the room, including the 3 wrong ones. Now we actually start off by picking out the 3 wrong plates. You want to prioritize those first, or at least in the beginning stage of this encounter, as each one of these wrong plates will spawn an ogre in the middle, and you want to take care of all 3 of those before you start dealing with Callie herself. Now the wrong plate is very simple to find. Just look in the middle and you'll see the icons of the plates. You'll notice that 3 of them are there. It's the one that is not there in the middle that is the wrong plate. And those are the 3 plates you want to activate as well. Now, activating these plates are very simple, guys. All you do is stand on the spot that the Techeun orb is not present. Again, these platforms, they're broken up into 3 levels. So you may get a Techeun orb on the left and right, and that means you need to stand on the middle. You get another Techeun orb on the left and middle, you need to stand on the right. And you keep just doing this over and over, standing on the area that is safe, and a knight will spawn. Kill that knight and proceed to move to another plate. All in all, 9 plates will need to be captured. And again, the people that are actually activating the wrong plates, we highly recommend that they don't activate a second plate. They run to the middle and they deal with the ogres they spawn in after they've already dealt with their knight. Now, upon capturing all of these plates, you'll need to shred Callie. And the beautiful thing about Callie is that she has a higher crit multiplier. That's why we never do damage testing on her. But if you have a weapon that does crit damage, you can shred her down very fast. Sleeper Simulator is really good, but pretty much any linear fusion rifle will do wonders for you. If you're rocking Golden Gun, whether it's Celestial or Star Eater scales, which that's actually what we were using, was Star Eater scales, we would get feats ×4 from a bubble user on our team, and then we would pop our Golden Guns and land 3 shots, each shot increasing with every previous precision shot. Now the reason why Marksman and Star Eater is so good in combination is number 1, it actually does more damage than Celestial. Number 2, it creates orbs of power on just precision hits. And considering that Star Eater scales has increased super energy from picking up orbs of power, you'll be able to top your super back very quickly, especially if you're combining it, guys, with the new mod Powerful Attraction. Literally just casting your class ability will pick up the surrounding orbs of power. Now, some things to note about Golden Gun: Kinetic Surge actually buffs the damage. I know it's funky, but that's just how things are. Rock 3 Kinetic Surge mods and you'll be increasing your damage. But again, you don't necessarily have to use these supers. You can use something like Sleeper, and again, if you don't do enough damage, you can just run into the doors and then proceed to run back out and continue doing damage to Callie. Again, this roughly takes you 3 to 3.5 minutes, and you get 2 drops instead of 1. By the way, you don't have to worry about what level your gear is, as this is a 1600 raid. Now, I want to go over some pros here to the challenge mode version. First up, double loot. Second, as long as you've got some teammates that know this encounter, and it's really not a difficult encounter to know, it's really hard to mess this up, guys. It just requires decent weapons that can crit with half decent DPS. And considering the time frame here, 3.5 minutes is not bad at all. The cons, well, you have to do a little more here. And in some cases, you have to have comms with your teammate or teammates, which brings us to the cheese version of this. Now, the cheese version takes roughly 1 minute and 45 seconds to do. Again, give or take a few more seconds. We were hitting somewhere around the 1:50 to 2 minute mark every single time, and that was us trying to load in as fast as we could. Again, what you're working against when it comes to the cheese method are load in times. Now, the cheese method is actually very simple. You have one person on your team run up to Callie, drop a single shot of Witherhoard right on her after her shield goes away, and then you proceed to just run back to this plate that's at the very beginning. I know Cheese Forever already did a video with it, showcasing Anarchy. I just found, personally for me guys, Witherhoard worked a lot better. Now next, you need 5 hunters using Star Eater scales. Essentially what we did a second ago, but now, getting out as much DPS as you can, as quickly as you can, is extremely important. We also had a bubble time with Crest of Alpha Loopy and a tractor cannon for that debuff. And the person who's rocking tractor cannon may want to rock double slug. Now the pros to this strategy is that you really just have to have one person who knows what they're doing. And that's the person that just runs in there, drops a Witherhoard shot off on Callie, and then runs back. Outside of that, guys, this is a very brain dead farm. Now essentially the same thing that we did with DPS. You pop your super, you have feast ×4, you hit your precision shots, creating orbs for your teammates. You're all doing that for each other. Proc your dodge, pick up orbs with powerful attraction, and you top your super off back again. Now something to mention here, guys, you do want to have Radiant buff. Radiant stacks with golden gun damage. So whether you're taking advantage of Ember of Torches or even Acrobat's dodge, it doesn't really matter, guys. Just find a way to proc Radiant. The beautiful thing about Ember of Torches, though, is that it procs Radiant for you and your allies. Now that's really important because that damage stacks on and you need all the damage you can get here on Callie, because you have a smaller window here that DPS are down. But believe me guys, if done correctly here, you will shred her very fast. Now with both of these strategies, what makes them so good is that whoever the team lead is, they need to load back into the encounter as the loot is dropping. What this actually does is places you right back in the same spot as if you never even completed the encounter, saving you a tremendous amount of time and keeping you from having to restart the raid or even jumping checkpoints. Guys, you literally can just load right back in. Now the difference here between this and challenge is number 1, it's faster, and number 2, you only get 1 reward. Now a couple things to note, Callie can sometimes get stuck. That means you and your team have to actually push all the way forward away from her as if you're going to the next encounter, and this will actually result in her finally dying, thus giving you loot. I know, it's a weird bug. There's also times where you're actually like trying to trap her and stun her and she just TPs away. Now if that happens, don't worry about it guys. You can literally just wait for her to go to the middle of the room if you did enough damage and just finish her off there. But again, at that point, you might as well have done challenge to get 2 drops, which takes me to my pro and con list for the cheesier strategy. Number 1, it is better for leveling weapons and getting Ingrams. The reason why that's the case, guys, is you're getting more completions done in comparison to the challenge mode. So if you happen to be trying to level up weapons or get experience, you're getting a little more because you're just completing this every 2 minutes versus that 3.5 minute mark. And number 2, you're getting Ingrams. These Season the Deep Ingrams are huge, especially for those of us trying to get deep sights for our seasonal weapons. You need these Ingrams. It's all RNG based, but the more Ingrams you have, the better. The third pro that I like is that you literally don't need comms for this. Not that you need comms for the other one, but this one right here is so brain dead. You and the squad can literally just chill out, and the only 2 people that really need to pay attention is the person trapping and locking Callie in a place and the person loading back into the Last Wish raid, and that's it. Another thing that's beautiful here is that you need no prior knowledge of this raid mechanic or even the challenge mode. You can literally take anyone in there as long as they have the right gear and can do enough damage. You're good, man. It's literally so brain dead, fellas. You can honestly multitask while doing this. Now the cons that I mentioned a second ago are as stands. Sometimes Callie bugs out. Some teams may not want to play Hunter, although it very much helps to have hunters with Star Eater scales. Load-in times also are very depending on who you're playing with. If you happen to be playing cross-play with some people, sometimes those load-in times could be worse, and that can be the killer there, because if you're taking a while loading back in, that can result in these runs being just as long as our challenge strat. And then finally, our other con is your team has to hit their shots. It's imperative here, guys, that your teammates land their shots, more so on the cheese strategy versus the challenge strat, as you have a limited window there to do damage. Now, with that being said, the rewards for doing this are apparent. I did it for roughly 3 hours, and we racked in 15 red borders. That's phenomenal, guys. That's not even counting us doing the raid afterward, which net me even more red borders. And we're gonna get into that in just a second, because Hawthorne has a quest you need to pick up. But what I'm trying to say is, guys, is if you commit a day or 2 this weekend to doing this grind, you can literally knock out all of the weapon patterns for these raid weapons, which is why I don't think you necessarily need to complete the Hawthorne quest unless you're just trying to take advantage of the quest bug. Currently right now, Hawthorne will give you a quest at the tower. This requires you to complete the Last Wish raid, which guarantees you a red border weapon each week until all patterns are acquired. Additionally, completing the quest will allow you to purchase Last Wish weapons weapons from Hawthorne for spoils of conquest. Now, once you select the weapon you want, this will automatically grant you pattern progress. Then if you extract the weapon's pattern, you get a second pattern progress. You see guys, I had 0 pattern progress for the raid fusion rifle, but upon completing the last wish raid and then going to Hawthorne and picking up one of these red borders, I was able to get 2 patterns progress for just 1 pickup. Now again, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but what I would advise is taking advantage of pretty much all of these things this weekend, most notably farming Cali, and then whatever you have left. If you have a squad that can do the last wish raid, do the raid, pick up one of those red borders, allowing you to knock out 2 patterns. But keep in mind, what makes this week so good is that the last wish raid is the feature raid, meaning you can get all of these weapon patterns right now by simply farming Cali, and you do not have to have any previous knowledge or understanding of this raid outside of maybe the challenge mode here for Cali, and then just knowing how to DPS her. That's it guys, that is so free. With that being said though, RNG is a fickle thing, so what may just take you an afternoon to knock out, that may actually take someone a couple days or more. Either way it goes though, I do want to talk about weapon rolls on these weapons and why they are worth going after. Starting with Chattering Bone. This is a lightweight kinetic pulse rifle that, no lie guys, is one of the best feeling pulse rifles you will ever use. Now all of our last wish raid weapons have this origin trait called Explosive Pact, where the weapon gains bonus stability and reload speed when activating a grenade ability. And healing grenades and grenade final blows grant additional stacks of this bonus. Now I don't know the stat bumps that you get with that, but again, notice it says just activating a grenade ability, not getting a kill, and actually using healing grenades grants additional stacks of that bonus alongside getting grenade final blows. Now I'm not going to go through every trait combination, but you probably already see the one I'm looking at already, which is rapid hit kinetic trimmers. All day long, man, looking juice. But you probably notice right here, kill clip and kinetic trimmers together, or better yet, kill clip rampage together. Now there's a new trait found on this weapon called Discord, where final blows with another weapon grant this weapon increased speed, aiming down sights, accuracy, and airborne effectiveness for a longer duration. Also, when Discord is active, final blows refund ammo. I gotta mess around with it. Not a big fan of like utilizing my other weapons to buff this weapon right here. We also gotta mess around to see what that duration may be. But inside of PvE though, that rampage kill clip roll or that kinetic trimmer kill clip roll, like you can imagine placing kinetic trimmers on an enemy, proccing it, it gets a kill with that AoE damage, and when you reload, it should proc kill clip for you. Now for PvP though, that kill clip rampage roll can put in work, without a doubt. It's not often we get 2 damage perks stacked with each other. I know we had it with like Kindle Orchid, but Bungie just doesn't hand these things out. But Keep Away is also present on this weapon, and you can get Keep Away in Headseeker. That's such a good consistent roll. On top of that, you can get Enhanced Keep Away and Enhanced Headseeker, as this is a craftable weapon. Now Rangefinder is also present here, but keep in mind guys, even though I love Rangefinder, we know a nerf is coming. With that being said though, guys, there's so many good things on this pulse. I cannot wait to get my hands on the craftable roll. Next we have the 150 round per minute kinetic scout rifle, Transfiguration. Now even though this is a 150, it is honestly one of the most fluid 150s I have ever used. Now this weapon has a phenomenal trait combination, which includes rewind rounds and kinetic trimmers, or even rewind rounds and explosive payload, which is honestly what I'm probably gonna go for. Now it's got its OG combination, which includes rampage and kill clip. That's still present here. You also have Keep Away on this weapon. And let me just say this guys, Keep Away on high impacts feels so good. Phyllotatic Spiral is the Neomuna pulse rifle and one of my most used weapons last season. So actually guys, a very good consistent roll here would be Keep Away and moving target together, or even something like Keep Away and opening shots. Both of those would do good. At the same time, I may even bring like explosive payload inside of PvP, as it does such good flinch damage, and then you have the accuracy bumps from Keep Away. And again, with these weapons being craftable, you can get them enhanced. Now the next weapon on the list is the Supremacy Sniper. Now this is a rapid fire frame sniper, and I know there's been some changes to rapid fire frames. They got some buffs, their ammo reserves are better. Supremacy is actually interesting because it does have bait and switch. It also has rewind rounds, as well as combinations like Let From Gold, and even stranger combinations like rewind rounds and 4 times the charm. Sounds kind of nutty, right? Again though, damage wise, don't expect this thing to just be nuts. Granted, it is a kinetic weapon. It does do a little more damage, with bait and switch being a very good damage perk. You also have Focus Fury down there as well, but I've deemed like Cloud Strike to be the best rapid fire frame sniper rifle for DPS, but a lot of other rapid fire sniper rifles are just not at that level. With that being said though, PvP, good combinations, man. You've got opening shot and Keep Away. Fellas, you have 2 different perks here, but both of them are boosting your range range and accuracy. There's one thing that has held back rapid fires is in far range maps, you can just tell they lose target acquisition. This is a 40 zoom sniper rifle, and even though you cannot get the 2-shot body kill, I think that trait combination is gonna feel so damn sticky. Next we have age-old bond. Now listen guys, 360s may not be your thing, but age-old bond is a monster. Honestly, the best 360 in the game. I love Lodbrok and Half Dan, but age-old bond, it just feels so consistent. Now this weapon actually has the trait collective action, where collecting elemental pickups or throwing a strand tangle grants a stacking period of increased damage. Now elemental pickups includes Fire Sprite, Void Breaches, Stasis Shards, Ionic Traces, and Strand Tangles. Now there are currently ways in which you can easily achieve this, most notably Behemoth Titans and Stasis Shards. Yes, you've been seeing the 120 going around right now, one tapping. We will be talking about that here soon. Having pretty much on command damage buffs with collective action would obviously be very nasty here on this 360. Outside of that though guys, the trait combination that I'm most curious about includes destabilizing rounds and repulsor brace. Now look, I don't know what this combination will do, but it sounds like perfect synergy to me. Destabilizing round states that final blows cause nearby targets to become volatile, and repulsor brace states that defeating a void debuff target grants an overshield that lasts for an improved duration. So what this sounds like is that they're gonna perfectly synergize. One perk causing targets to become volatile, and the other perk granting you an overshield for defeating those now void debuffed targets. Outside of that guys, we have combinations like dynamic sway and target lock, and not just target lock, but enhanced target lock, meaning you should be hitting that first stack of target lock faster in the magazine than you could in the base form of target lock. On top of that, you have dynamic sway, and enhanced dynamic sway activates even faster. Now keep in mind, dynamic sway is normally better on weapons with higher rate of fires, so it may not be as beneficial here on age-old bond, which if that's the case, then we can just literally swap things out for tap the trigger. What I can say though about this auto rifle is that it feels good, and there's so many interesting trait combinations, whether it is that 4 times the charm target lock roll, or that repulsor brace destabilizing round roll, or even just going with something as simple as kill clip. This is an auto rifle for both PvE and for PvP. Next we have Tyranny of Heaven. Now Tyranny of Heaven had its stats actually bumped up, and it should be performing a lot better. It's a solar bow, it's also a lightweight frame bow on top of that. It too has that new trait collective action, but also other neat combinations include incandescent and explosive head. You've got Archer's Tempo there, Dragonfly and incandescent. Great combinations like successful warm-up and incandescent. And I know you're probably like, Cross, you really like incandescent? Yes, I do. I love it on a bow. Strident Whistle was like my most used bow, and still is, because of incandescent. Now granted, Strident is a precision frame, and normally I don't like lightweight bows, but I'm willing to give Tyranny of Heaven a try. Next we have Nation of Beasts. This is an arc energy hand cannon, and it has got so many nasty combinations. First up, it's got some of the new traits on it, Discord, collective action, as well as the trait Eddy Current, where it temporarily increases reload speed after sprinting, and increased reload speed has a longer duration. Now this effect is significantly improved when you are amplified. Now considering how many perks we have on our artifact mod this season that tie into you being amplified, you could definitely take full advantage of that. Now the trait combination that I want is Volt Shot and Dragonfly. Beautiful! OG Fatebringer just wishes it was this nasty. Now that's honestly the PvE role that I want. For PvP though, opening shot kill clip, very good. Keep away with kill clip, or keep away with explosive payload, also very good. Explosive payload opening shot, very good. Lots of good trait combinations here guys. They're gonna serve you well. Now I know it has perpetual motion, but again, keep away to me is just better because of that accuracy buff. No lie guys, this hand cannon looks so good. Next we have one of the most underrated fusion rifles in Destiny, Techeun Force. This is an arc fusion rifle guys in the adaptive frame archetype, and mother of god did these rolls look juice. First we have the new trait Controlled Burst, where landing every shot in a burst grants this weapon increased damage and reduced charge time for a short duration. Now it kind of sounds like Merciless, but they like bait impetus into that increase in charge rate. Now I don't know what the damage is, but you can imagine something like that with rewind rounds, how good that would be. Or even something like Reconstruction and just boosting that mag size as much as you can. Guys, if we ever get another season with particle deconstruction, Techeun Force could be the meta. Now for PvP, dude, under pressure, rangefinder, all day long. But you also have things like Kickstart. And the beautiful thing is Kickstart and Slime Waste. Both of those two perks are really benefiting each other. But honestly, guys, I think under pressure is the key perk for fusion rifles inside of PvP, because you're always at the bottom end of that magazine. You're always improving that stability and and that accuracy. And considering you're moving so much for kickstarts because of that slide and that increase in charge rate and damage, you need a perk to help you. Under Pressure can definitely do that. And on top of that, the enhanced version of Under Pressure is even better. Now finally, Apex Predator. This is a rocket launcher that deals solar damage, and there is so many things you want on this thing. First up, bait and switch. I know, Bungie done went out here and put it on a rocket launcher. On top of that, you can get bait and switch and demolitionist together. I know Starfire Protocol just got nerfed, but trust me guys, there are ways around it. Now you may be looking at Slime Ways. Unfortunately, Slime Ways has a cooldown. I don't know the duration off the top of my head. The reason why I bring that up is because if you were thinking you could just slide over and over again and reload your rocket launcher, maybe similar to something like Glacial Chasm with Reservoir Burst, with Slide Shot, you can't quite do that, as there is a cooldown there before it will auto reload another rocket. Now Bungie talked really highly of the trait Bipod. From our knowledge, Bipod, which does increase rocket launcher ammo and reserves, its reduction there in damage is pretty significant. I'm being told 40% decreased damage. Now, it doubles mag size, I know, increased total reserve size, but again, that minus 40 there in damage, that's rough, guys. Like, that's gonna be a hard sell, for sure, because you got an explosive payload right there, you got bait and switch. Why would you even consider using a perk that nerfs you 40% when you have one perk giving you 25% more damage and another perk giving you 35% more damage? Maybe the craftable version is different, and I am interested in trying the craftable version to see if there is a difference, because Bungie talked Bipod up a ton. I mean, they were like, yo, it's gonna be the best perk ever, be looking out for it. Maybe there's some weird crazy combination with reconstruction and Bipod, I don't know. All I saw was 40% less damage, and that's a huge no pretty much for anything in the game. Regardless though, guys, there's so many juicy rolls on all of these weapons. Believe me, I'm jumping on these other guns, I'm jumping on the seasonal weapons, the dungeon weapons, but these old raid weapons have come back with some of the nastiest trait combinations I have ever seen in this game. So this weekend, before reset next Tuesday, jump on this farm. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.